Hello and welcome to today's video on the biography of Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris is a name that has been in the public eye for many years, but it wasn't until 2020 that she became a household name. Let's take a look at the life of Kamala Harris, the first woman and the first person of color to hold the office of Vice President of the United States. Kamala's parents were activists who instilled in her a strong sense of social justice and public service. Her mother, Shyamala Gopalan, was a cancer researcher who focused on breast cancer. Her father, Donald Harris, was an economics professor at Stanford University. Kamala grew up in the San Francisco Bay Area and attended public schools. She was an excellent student and went on to attend Howard University, a historically black college and university in Washington, D.C. At Howard, Kamala majored in political science and economics. She was also a member of the debate team and the Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority, which is the oldest African American sorority in the United States. After graduating from Howard, Kamala returned to California and attended law school at the University of California, Hastings. She earned her law degree in 1989 and began her career as a prosecutor in the Alameda County District Attorney's Office. Kamala quickly developed a reputation as a tough but fair prosecutor who was committed to fighting for justice for victims of crime. In 2003, she was elected District Attorney of San Francisco, becoming the first woman and the first person of color to hold that office. As District Attorney, Kamala implemented a number of innovative programs, including a program to help first-time drug offenders avoid incarceration by providing them with job training and education. She also created a unit to investigate hate crimes and worked to improve relations between law enforcement and the communities they served. In 2010, Kamala was elected Attorney General of California, becoming the first woman and the first person of color to hold that office as well. As Attorney General, she continued to advocate for criminal justice reform and worked to protect the rights of consumers and homeowners. In 2016, Kamala was elected to the United States Senate, becoming the second African American woman and the first Indian American woman to serve in that body. In the Senate, she focused on a number of issues, including criminal justice reform, immigration, and healthcare. In January 2021, Kamala was inaugurated as the Vice President of the United States, making history as the first woman and the first person of color to hold that office. She has continued to focus on issues such as COVID-19 relief, voting rights, and climate change. Kamala Harris's life and career have been marked by a commitment to justice, equality, and public service. She has broken barriers and shattered glass ceilings throughout her career, and her historic election as vice president is a testament to the power of hard work, determination, and a belief in the American dream. Certainly, here are some additional details about Kamala Harris's life and career. After law school, Kamala Harris worked as a deputy district attorney in Alameda County, California, where she prosecuted cases of gang violence, drug trafficking, and sexual assault. In 1998, she became the managing attorney of the Career Criminal Unit of the San Francisco District Attorney's Office, where she focused on prosecuting repeat offenders who commit violent crimes. In 2004, Kamala Harris was named a Woman of Power by the National Urban League in recognition of her work as District Attorney of San Francisco. In 2012, she played a key role in negotiating a $25 billion settlement with banks over foreclosure abuses, which helped provide relief to homeowners affected by the housing crisis. In 2014, Kamala Harris married Douglas Emhoff, a lawyer and entertainment industry executive. Emhoff became the first second gentleman of the United States when his wife was elected vice president. During her time in the Senate, Kamala Harris co-sponsored a number of bills related to criminal justice reform, including the First Step Act, which aimed to reduce mandatory minimum sentences for nonviolent drug offenses. During her campaign for vice president, Kamala Harris emphasized her commitment to healthcare reform and proposed a plan to expand access to affordable healthcare for all Americans. Kamala Harris has spoken openly about the impact of her Indian and Jamaican heritage on her life and career, and has described herself as a child of immigrants who is proud of her multicultural background. Kamala Harris is also an author, having written a memoir titled The Truths We Hold: An American Journey, which was published in 2019. In the book, she reflects on her life and career and shares her vision for the future of America. Kamala Harris has been a vocal advocate for women's rights and has supported policies such as equal pay for equal work, access to reproductive health care, and paid family leave. In 2019, Kamala Harris announced her candidacy for the Democratic nomination for President of the United States. Although she was considered a strong contender, she ultimately ended her campaign in December of that year due to funding issues. Kamala Harris has been a vocal critic of the Trump administration's immigration policies, particularly its policy of separating families at the border. She has advocated for comprehensive immigration reform and has supported the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals (DACA) program. As vice president, Kamala Harris has taken on a number of high-profile assignments, including leading the administration's efforts to address the root causes of migration from Central America and overseeing the implementation of the American Rescue Plan, a $1.9 trillion COVID-19 relief package. Kamala Harris has been praised for her fashion sense, with many noting her affinity for wearing pearls, which have become a signature element of her wardrobe. In fact, she has often said that her sorority, Alpha Kappa Alpha, has a special affinity for pearls, and that they are a symbol of the organization's values. Kamala Harris is also a stepmother to 2 children, Cole and Ella, from her husband's previous marriage. She has spoken about the challenges of balancing her personal and professional responsibilities, and has said that family is her top priority. Kamala Harris is known for her sense of humor and her quick wit. She has been compared to other trailblazing women in politics, such as Shirley Chisholm and Barbara Jordan, and has been praised for her ability to inspire others and bring people together. Kamala Harris's historic election as vice president has been celebrated by many as a milestone for gender and racial equality in America. She has said that she hopes her election will inspire young people, particularly girls and children of color, to believe that they too can achieve their dreams. As vice president, Kamala Harris has been involved in a number of initiatives and policy proposals that address a range of issues. Here are some of her plans for the future. COVID-19 response. Kamala Harris has been leading the administration's efforts to expand access to COVID-19 vaccines and ensure that all Americans have access to quality healthcare. She has also been focused on mitigating the economic impact of the pandemic, particularly for vulnerable communities. Infrastructure. Kamala Harris has been a proponent of investing in infrastructure projects that can create jobs and stimulate economic growth. She has supported the American Jobs Plan, a $2 trillion proposal that would invest in transportation, broadband, and clean energy initiatives. Immigration. Kamala Harris has been working to address the root causes of migration from Central America and to create a more humane and compassionate immigration system. She has advocated for comprehensive immigration reform and has called for a pathway to citizenship for undocumented immigrants. Climate change. Kamala Harris has been a strong advocate for addressing climate change and has supported policies to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and transition to a clean energy economy. She has called for investments in renewable energy and for the United States to rejoin the Paris Agreement on climate change. These are just a few examples of the policy areas Kamala Harris has been focused on in her role as vice president. As the administration's priorities evolve, it is likely that her plans for the future will continue to reflect the needs and concerns of the American people. Thank you for joining us on this journey through Kamala Harris's life. We hope you have learned something new and are inspired by her remarkable story.